Sunday in Birmingham. Keely Hodgkinson put her kit on, walked to the start line, and got ready to race. The crowd was loud. The gun was seconds away. Then she stepped back, walked off the track, and never ran. Nobody in that stadium knew what was happening. So what did she feel before that final that made her walk away? It was Father's Day at the UK Athletics Championship, and the crowd inside the Birmingham arena had come to watch a champion. Keely Hodgkinson is 24 years old. She is the Olympic 800-meter gold medalist, and on this weekend she had entered a different event, the 400 meters. She had cruised through her heat on the Saturday and booked her spot in Sunday's final. Everything pointed toward a routine run for one of the biggest names in British sport. Then came the moment nobody expected. As the finalists settled onto the start line, Hodgkinson stood to the side of the track looking visibly emotional. Cameras caught the worry on her face, and instead of crouching into the blocks, she made the call to withdraw. The race went ahead without her. For a runner of her status to pull out at the very last second, something clearly was not right. So let's answer the question in the title properly. What happened to Keely Hodgkinson before that final? The short version is this. She did not feel right during her warm-up. She felt a small amount of tightness in her body, and rather than push through and risk a serious tear, she chose to protect herself. Her coach, Trevor Painter, kept it simple afterwards. He said all was fine, just a bit of tightness, and that they decided not to risk it. To grasp how big this moment is, you have to know who Keely Hodgkinson actually is. She is not just another runner. She won Olympic gold in Paris in 2024. She has become one of the most recognizable faces in British athletics, known for her speed on the track and her style off it. So when she walks away from a final in front of a home crowd, it is national news within minutes. Her gold in Paris was no fluke either. She led that Olympic final from near the front, then powered clear over the final 100 meters to win in 1 minute 56.72 seconds. It made her the third British woman in history to win Olympic gold at the distance. A mural of her was painted in Manchester to mark the achievement. This is the level of athlete we are talking about, which is why a quiet withdrawal from a minor race becomes a major story. But to understand why this decision matters so much, you have to understand why she was running the 400 meters at all. This is not her main event. Hodgkinson built her entire reputation on the 800 meters, the brutal two-lap race that mixes raw speed with deep endurance. She ran the shorter distance for one reason. She wanted to sharpen her first lap speed. The plan was to become faster over the opening stretch of her races so that later this summer she could chase something enormous, a world record. Now think about the position she was in on that start line. She told reporters straight after that she was not feeling 100%, so she made the tough decision to step away and not race. It is understood she felt anxious during the warm-up and again on the start line before deciding to pull out and avoid any long-term damage. That word, anxious, is important. This was not a dramatic collapse or a visible injury. It was an experienced athlete listening to her own body and trusting it when it whispered a warning. And here is the part that explains everything. Last year was painful for Hodgkinson, and not in a good way. After winning Olympic gold in Paris in the summer of 2024, she was hit by a run of hamstring injuries that wrecked her season. A hamstring tear early in 2025 forced her out of a competition that had literally been named after her, the Keely Classic. She then missed the entire indoor campaign. Setback followed setback. By the time she finally returned to a track, she had been out of competition for around 376 days. That is more than a full year of her career gone, and the comeback itself was a grind. When she finally returned in the summer of 2025, she did it in style, running a world-leading time in Poland after those long months away. She went on to take bronze at the World Championships in Tokyo, and then won again in New York, with tennis legend Serena Williams there to crown her. Piece by piece, she rebuilt everything the injuries had taken. That is exactly why she now guards her body like it is made of glass. She knows how long the road back can be. When you carry that memory, a small twinge on a start line is not a small thing. It is a flashing red light. She has felt where these injuries can lead, and she has paid the price and lost months and missed titles. So when her body sent the smallest signal in Birmingham, she did not gamble. She walked away to fight another day. If you are enjoying this breakdown of the story behind the headlines, take a second to subscribe. We cover the real stories inside athletics and British sport every week. A few years ago, the pressure of a home crowd and a final might have pushed her into running anyway. Now she knows that one stubborn race is never worth risking a whole season. She even spoke about the emotion of it, the difficulty of making that choice in front of everyone. Saying no in public is hard. Doing it to protect a bigger goal takes real discipline. For fans watching at home, the emotion on her face was the scariest part. Seeing a champion close to tears at the side of a track makes you fear the worst. But emotion is not the same as injury. She was frustrated, she was disappointed, and she was managing nerves. None of that means her body is broken. In fact, the calm explanation that followed should reassure anyone worried about her summer. So what is that bigger goal? This is where the story stops being about one missed final and becomes genuinely exciting. So when a runner like Hodgkinson starts breaking records and talking openly about it, the whole athletics world pays attention. She is not just hoping. She is building toward it with a plan, and she has already put everyone on notice. Earlier this year, she broke the indoor 800-meter world record, clocking 1 minute 54.87 seconds in France. That run told everyone watching that she is operating at a level very few humans have ever reached. Every training choice she makes, including running that 400 meters, is aimed at shaving off the fractions of a second that stand between her and history. Risking a hamstring in a 400-meter race that means very little, when a record-breaking summer is sitting right there, would have been a reckless trade. So when you ask what happened to Keely Hodgkinson before that final, the honest answer is that nothing went wrong. She made a calculated choice. Life on the track moved forward. But the bigger headline was never about who crossed the line first in Birmingham. It was about the runner who chose not to start. So let's bring this all the way back to where we began. The image of Hodgkinson standing on the side of that track, emotional, walking away from a final, looks at first like bad news. A champion breaking down. But once you understand the full picture, it flips completely. This was not a setback. It was a save. She felt a warning. She remembered the year that injuries stole from her, and she refused to throw away a summer that could end with her name in the record books. What happened before the final was not weakness. It was a runner who has learned exactly what her body is worth and exactly what she is chasing. The 43-year-old world record is still standing. But if Keely Hodgkinson stays healthy, the most dangerous thing she did all weekend might turn out to be the smartest. And the race that really matters has not even started yet.